Saints, peace be with you, family. I'm Miss Annette.
And I'm Brother Lamont.
And we are
the Black State. The Black State of Mind, Black State of Spirituality, everything dealing with our people in these days and times. And today, we're going to be talking about these folks that went out here and stormed the Capitol building. Because we know that if that would have been us, or, you know, let's say the BLM movement or any other protesters of color, that would have been a completely different scenario. You agree?
I do agree. And in saying that, as we know, 2020 was a horrible year for all of us. It was tedious. It was long. We did see the protest. We've all watched it. We watched it on TV. I mean, my children participated. And in saying that, pepper spray, we had that issue in my family. So it means a lot to me, and it has hurt me deeply. I didn't think that something like that would bother me as much, but it has definitely hurt me deeply to see what has happened.
And that's understandable. But as I've said and I'm going to continue to say, and we have always said, that Babylon must fall, Babylon will fall, and Babylon is falling.
You do say that on a constant.
All the time, and it's falling. Falling.
And as we talk about Babylon, I mean, this isn't the first time that we've seen things like this happen. I mean, I'm not going to tell my age, but I came up in the era of protest, the first era, and now not believing that I would see this again so many years later, believing that eventually things would change, times would change, life would get better.
Wishful thinking, of course.
That's exactly what it was, because as we have all seen, it hasn't. It hasn't. We've reaped some benefits. I'm not complaining about that, but it's not enough. We're not where we should be. And saying that, we were just discussing the other day about the Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. I know some of y'all know what we're talking about. Some people may not, but for those of you who don't know, Black Wall Street, of course, was a district in Oklahoma where blacks had, their own banks, they had their own, all these establishments, they were doing well, very well. They had doctors, lawyers, teachers, craftsmen, everything that you could ask for.
All encompassed. The city was all encompassed. They had everything they needed.
Everything.
Banks.
Everything that they needed.
Everything.
Because the reason why is because during those times, we weren't allowed to participate in anything of theirs. Everything was separate. Whites only this, blacks only that. So we went out and created our own. And by doing so, what happened? They came and destroyed it and literally dropped bombs on us.
And a lot of us weren't taught those things in school. I mean, I didn't learn this myself until the last maybe 20 years. And that is a big complaint of ours too, is not having the knowledge, not knowing what we talk about our distant history as far as slavery is concerned, but we weren't even taught about the closer
history after slavery.
Right, the history after slavery. I had no idea coming up as a child that there was anything called Black Wall Street. And for those of you who don't know, you guys can go ahead and look it up. I think I'll insert some pictures. But Black Wall Street was located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And this happened in
1921.
21, it did. And I think the month was June. I think it was June. But anyway, I'll insert some pictures for you guys, so you guys can have a look for yourself and go ahead and look into that.
And also Rosewood. Look up Rosewood as well. That was another
one of our cities. One of our towns.
And speaking of during those times, late 1800s, early 1900s, in the South, blacks actually ran the government.
There was a time.
We actually had, all the senators and the governors and the mayors and these people in place. But again, whenever we do for ourselves in this place, they tell us to be, self-sufficient, do your own thing, don't ask for handouts. But it seems that even when we do that, it's never enough for our Caucasian counterparts who always figure out some kind of way to bring us back down.
I mean, going back to what we were saying about Black Wall Street itself, that incident happened with a young man who was working in a bank, if I'm not mistaken, downtown Tulsa, white part of town, and he was a shoe shine gentleman, and he also ran the elevator. And this incident happened to have happened in an elevator where the elevator jumped. Of course, we know elevators even now do the same thing, but you can only imagine what an elevator really, the workings of an elevator at that time in the early 1900s. And
not much space.
Exactly. And a Caucasian lady, as the elevator jerked, he accidentally fell into her or she fell into him. We still don't know the real truth behind that. And that went from him molesting her to him raping her to an all-out war is what happened. All-out war from one incident. And like we said, this isn't the first time in history. And it came from jealousy.
And it won't be the last time.
Yeah.
Jealousy, hate, and ignorance. Because a lot of times, people hate what they don't understand. And a lot of these people, if they would take the time to get to know other people outside of their race or whatever, you know what I'm saying, they might gain a little bit more understanding. But too many of these people are dead set on being who they are. Kind of like, the people that support the Orange Man, they're dead set on being who they are, no matter what. So,
the Orange Man, we all know who that is, our outgoing president.
All right, and as I was saying, you have people who, refuse to compromise, don't want to, change who they are. They're dead set on being exactly who they are. The example that we gave were, the people who support the Orange Man, who is exactly that type of individual. He's uncompromising, not willing to listen to reason, and if it doesn't benefit him, then it's no good, and that's exactly why I believe that
that's exactly what happened. As you all, I had put out a short earlier in the month or right after the incident happened, letting you all know that, we were going to do this. I don't understand. There is a semblance of respect that it seems that we've always had for the Capitol building itself, for the White House, although there was an incident in California in the late 60s where the Black Panthers did walk into the Capitol building with their arms and did nothing and were escorted out, and also they were given their guns back. So this is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about state Capitol buildings. I am talking about our nation's Capitol.
And as you said, notice, they took their guns. They only made it to the Assembly Hall, and when they got to the Assembly Hall, policemen were there waiting for them and took their weapons.
And nicely escorted them out.
And of course, those who had their weapons legally got them back. But the point is, they were there waiting for them to take their guns.
Knowing that they were coming, as in this incident that we just went through, they knew they were coming. There had been all kinds of warnings. There had been videos. There was YouTube information. There was online information. There was a call from the president for them to come to the nation's capital, and they did exactly what he asked them to do. And in saying that, it puts me in the mind of how they can't take no for an answer.
Won't take no for an answer.
It saddens me, but more than that, it boggles my mind. I don't understand. I'm neither a Republican. I'll just go ahead and say this out front. I'm neither a Republican or a Democrat.
None of that.
Neither one of those. What I'm saying is, if our democracy allows us to have a vote, you have a vote, the votes are counted. The votes aren't counted once, twice, 3 times. They were counted multiple times. They went through many districts, many states, recounts, and it came out the same, if not more. President Biden won. It is what it is. Accept it, you vote again in 4 years. I thought that's how it worked.
That's how it's supposed to work. And
right?
To add to that, it's funny that when when the Orange Man won, he was steady, saying that Hillary was cheating and
definitely.
So if she was cheating and doing all that, you know what I'm saying, then that it should have been,
As many people who were angry about Hillary
right.
at that time, Mrs. Clinton losing
right.
the election.
She conceded.
She didn't win, passed the baton. President Obama, passed the baton and moved on. Where we're at now is what has led us to where we are today. In saying, is separation the best thing for us?
I don't know how you feel, but I'm going to tell you how I feel. Being in this country, as long as I've been in this country, which is my whole life, you know, yeah, I've been to Mexico, which is another country, but still, all in all, saying that is, once you've been abused, mistreated, racially profiled, arrested, you know, beaten, incarcerated, you know, hated for whatever reason, no reason at all, it weighs on you, and it's getting heavy. And I know because I see in my people's eyes all over the country, they're tired. They're tired of this place. This place is worn on us, you know what I mean? And even though a lot of us know that this is our land, this is our country, we were here first, you know, even though most of us know that and understand that, we realize that they've taken it over to such a degree that we can't be comfortable.
They're not allowing it. I mean, in saying the word comfort, I can't even say that I remember the last time I was comfortable. And I think about that now on a constant basis. I mean, I've got 4 boys, 2 grandsons. I mean, we have more grandchildren. As a matter of fact, I'm wrong. 3 grandsons. And in saying that, on a daily basis, I don't know how you other mothers of color feel about this, but on a constant basis, when my children leave the house, I'm on a constant worry. When my husband leaves, from the time that he leaves in the morning till the time he comes home at night, it's a constant stress. I'm tired. I don't want to live that life anymore. At this point.
Only one thing we can do, people. Remember, America is not the only country on the earth. There's plenty of places that you can go, plenty of other places that you can live. There's plenty of places on this earth where they don't treat us like the scum of the earth, where everything is unequal, where we're disproportionately incarcerated, where like right now, going through this, you know, COVIDly speaking, pandemically speaking, what we're going through right now, it's affecting us in disproportionate numbers.
It is.
And you have to continually ask yourself, how come every time there's a pandemic, how come every time there's a crime wave, how come every time there's something ugly and nasty and the bottom of the barrel, it always affects us disproportionately? Doesn't make any sense.
There's no fairness.
Tired of it.
There's no fairness here.
And we can't. We've tried to make sense out of this nonsense. We continue to try to make sense out of the nonsense. The only conclusion that anybody with half of a mind, half a sound mind can come to is that we live in an insane asylum, and the wards are not the craziest people in the asylum. Right. But the wardens are crazier than the wards.
And saying that, people, I mean, we've decided that we're going to make a move. You know, we'll be talking about that in later episodes, but we've decided that we are going to make a move. We'll be discussing that with you all. Let us know how you guys feel. Let me know, what we want to know. Please leave in the comments. If you've stayed this long, we definitely appreciate it. But please leave in the comments, ladies, how do you all feel on a constant basis? I mean, as far as the pressures of just being in your skin, and you know exactly what I'm saying. Gentlemen, you guys do the same thing. Brothers, I definitely like to hear from you all.
Y'all make sure y'all leave y'all comments below. Let us know what y'all think and how y'all feeling. Because I know a lot of y'all are feeling the exact same way we are. And this is the reason why we're doing what we're doing.
Yes.
So maybe y'all come with us. Make your comments. We connect. We get together. Maybe we can together figure out some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all have answers we don't. Maybe we have answers you don't. But nothing gets done unless we do it together. And right now, we are all we got.
That's it.
If we ain't never ever came together and treated each other with love and kindness and respect and togetherness, if we ain't never done it, now's the time.
It is. Now's the time. And I wanted to say to you all, we were discussing this the other night. Please, wives, take care of your husbands. take care of your children.
Husbands, take care of your wives and your children and your brothers and your sisters.
We need to take care of each other,
We
family.
need to take care of each other. They ain't gonna respect us regardless. But we cannot have respect amongst ourselves if we don't treat each other the way that we should be treated, which is with kindness, which is with love, which is understanding, and togetherness.
Togetherness.
Ain't nothing we can't do together. They brought down the wall of Jericho. You know how they did it? Together.
Together.
So y'all take care and we'll see y'all again. And in closing, we will say, Shalom Ayam.
Shalom, my own.
Coming to you live from the corner. Sad to see another one of us a goner. Am I desensitized? Do I believe the lies? Will we ever rise? Will I ever see an end to the bullshit? Now how the hell the devil get up in the pulpit? Looking at your child with the eyes of a predator. Straight facts, mommy, this is not a metaphor. For a safe place, but a safe no trace. Land of the lost, tears on your face. Trying to find an escape from the religious beef. True meaning means to hold down the release.